Oh, hello there once again. So, yep, you already know what's going on already, but it ended up NASCAR planning to be to the Sugarland or some sort of otherwise. But yeah, here's I think it's just what's might be going on. Yeah, so I found out the next gen car automated in this series has already have issues of relating to well compared to all the way towards the cars getting faster and some sort of the short tracks like Bristol and Monster so made the crap. Even though the Xfinity series of Monster and the Cup series at Bristol, it's kind of good tracks to explain, relate to the message what's going on right now. So yeah, those cars are kind of really built to the end up for tracks like these, so they end up leaning towards, yep, and they end up with the towards the car future. They be the end up. That's just plan to kill off short tracks. At the end of short tracks that come to mind at the end of it, they might get rid of is the end of based. Is the end of what they kind of get rid of. So they replace it with some like tracks like Kentucky, Pikes Peak, Chicagoland, and even build more restricted play tracks. So they end up with top down like with Atlanta lines are Texas or some sort as well. It's possible they could possibly get more restricted plates. Yeah, the road course is kind of iffy at this point, but I think this is the theory later on that they might fix up that for real. For the short tracks, so the people really love the short tracks. The last couple years because it's attributed to NASCAR's roots in history and then the end up base stuff. It's just, I don't. And we like Louis do not want NASCAR to remove those type of races for their schedule, but yeah, it's kind of way it is for sure. With the end of there is a revival, but I kind of think it's not going to be a Cup Series any much longer. It's because of how those cars are not being built of some sort. Because yet the stock cars are moving away from being like a late model type and more like a touring car type in the future, like a touring car, stock car hybrid of some sort, and then also top of electric in the future. It's unlikely that they end up seeing them in the back of the old time roots ever again from this. So I mean, it's so and then to think about the, the next like eighth gen car to replace the new next gen. You know, people say they end up the eighth gen and they end up replace the next gen cars. Is it eighth or ninth? I can't remember, but whatever it is. Yeah, I kind of hate the Bruce Little Bad News. And the newer generation of cars that I think in the future that that's what's rumor about. Yeah, they said that they need more planning at the end. I think the cars back to be better on short tracks. But the reality is, you hate to be a little bit negative, but that's kind of the way it is right now. NASCAR is slowly making short tracks the next dodo bird. Yeah. So yeah, why I say that the short tracks the next dodo bird, you're kind of afraid to. Yeah, the reason is, yeah, NASCAR's the new packages and the new car types. Otherwise, so they end up slowly carrying it and killing the short tracks. Is to try to get better TV ratings and then TV viewership to get more tickets to the sell to the fans so they to go see the tracks. In the end, people just do not want to see cars going around. And they end up it tracks in the end of held in so many years it just get to get old and some sort. We it kind of get boring in the future and repetitive for the way it is. Some short tracks are kind of same one though. It's kind of begin to say a little well. Old news, yeah, old news, old time of some sort. And kind of afraid tracks like Dover and some sort of might either turn into like a mile and a half intermediate tracks in the future just to the end and be with the fans otherwise. So it's kind of heartbreaking, but that's kind of true by the best. There's some sort of the end otherwise so they get to compare to the NASCAR's future. Because when the next generation car comes, it's might not gonna make the short tracks even worse. I feel when because of the NASCAR's converting into the tracks into some sort, I think it makes better on road courses of some sort. So that's why I'm more focused on tracks like Utah, for sports campus, got Spring Mountains, so renovation and to bring North Life as record to be like a winter extra and then race, so there's also more of a Christmas time special, if not new special, for NASCAR type for that type of track. Also, NASCAR's company is also going international, so add that little insult. So yeah, I think that those new version of the cars will make look better road courses, but the short tracks are pretty much dead in the water that they compared to the all way looking at already. Based to the series itself and the related to how this whole entire series has been played out compared to the way it is. So already so to give much of the clue that the relate basically what's going on right now. So some sort about that that's going to the end of transition in this. So how would you do we end up save short tracks? I have already have an idea for this. Although since the Cup Series and Xfinity Series are joined absolute garbage, the Truck Series has a little bit of edge left for short tracks. It's a little bit more competitive. But just think about it now. What series like NASCAR that it does way more with short tracks? Yep, ARCA. ARCA has a short track built in within their cars. And it kind of the same one now. And they end up, but also it also built really good short tracks. NASCAR style from 1970s, 80s, and 90s type cars. Those type of cars, even early 2000s, early to mid 2000s type cars as well. And those virtual stock cars, so you know what I'm talking about? They're kind of built as late model-ish type cars, or almost like built like a separate late model. It's not as stock as compared to the to the to the new gen, to the old gen, the cars tomorrow. Yeah, it's not like those cars at all. It's kind of was before all this. So yeah, they built almost like a late model car. So if a place if the exhort that Arca series to like a to be NASCAR's fourth Grand Toy Series type nationals of some sort, lower than the Craftsman Truck Series, as you know, to be the fourth brand of some sort, absorbing the Arca Menor Series East and West, and even the B Series itself to the church to get a that's was the fourth Grand Tour Series using like between the 70s to the early 20 for for from 1970 to 2005 main vehicles, and then they end the race. So sorry, yeah, Lord the Truck Series, and those gonna be teenagers in the game from age like probably being 13, 14 years old, all the way towards like 16, 17 years old. You keep looking at it. So yeah, yeah, no, they're getting way too young for restricted plate tracks. And there's some sort. But they still will be old enough and they end up racing at tracks like Dover or Dover or even Richmond or Bristol or some sort. Those short track favorites. So you can rewind those short tracks right into that series in some sort. And then they end up return like in tracks like National Fairgrounds or Evergreen or otherwise. Even Thompson and others can easily come back from this too. Also, you can see how tracks like Iowa can end up to return. Yeah, talking to you, Pikes Peak International Raceway. It's probably end up being the return based on that too. So they end up the way it is. If they really want to get ready to challenge on this one, they could race a Wilkesboro or other tracks even higher than that. This is, I don't know if this will give me H&M from Rockingham or some sort. You need to try that or some sort. You did come on yeah, I'd probably say they might not race. So it's like Texas, Daytona, Talladega, Atlanta. So I think these races are Michigan as well. But even though we're in Indianapolis or something, I think they're not old enough for that too. So something smaller than that. It's fine. So it's kind of bring back the old heritage of short tracks of some sort. And then be old enough to race some larger tracks than that. So that means you can still race like in the racing like Chicagoland, Kansas, Kentucky. So there's some sort. But it's all involving Daytona, Talladega, Indianapolis, and others on there. Because I'm pretty sure they're not going to be old enough for that. So yeah, so that's like I end up thinking about it. They should bring that back because this is some sort. It's a part of NASCAR's fourth Grand National Time Toy Series, and trying to absorbing and dissolved ARCA together by this to allow this to happen, and they end up using those older generation cars as almost like a similar as you see a lot from those late model types compared to stock cars you see now. These days it's almost like a direct copy of those in the end of see in the touring cars or the grand touring cars, almost like a structure for that. So it kind of makes sense because the new not exactly built. And they end up for short tracks anymore. Is that you're moving towards road course and the mile house and D-shaped ovals and even restricted pavement tracks. Because they're literally not exactly built for short tracks anymore, which is a disappointing fact compared to tracks like the race, not tracks like cars like Cup Series, Xfinity cars, and otherwise. So it's kind of be truth. All of this is an extent. So compared to the same on the surplus, and negative and positive, is compared to no all the way to itself. I'm not going to get a little bit even more shamer, even more further than this. This future is gonna be looking really rough of some sort. So yeah, I think what I'm wanting to try to say here might will work in some sort in the end that in NASCAR where want to do that. And yes, so for this whole time of this is still a huge rumor. Not only about some of the fans, but a lot of fans soon up in the future. And then know this might revive the short tracks, but how they be consistently with not only NASCAR itself, but otherwise. So, and this kind of remind me of it as well. This kind of remind me of IndyCar as well, because you end up going for the same issue as why they get rid of ovals in the first place, so otherwise. Because after the renovation, thanks to NASCAR, they're going to force IndyCar, they're going to have to get rid of the oval routes and to see more towards the road course routes ever since. So to see why. I think because of the direction NASCAR is right now, because it's made this NASCAR is almost like IndyCar right now, compared to what's going on right now. IndyCar is also trying themselves in a direction all around. Despite IndyCar has a new president, and some sort, and they're kind of ready for the set of a rebound. But no, but IndyCar has been for much of heat over the years. Yeah, related towards the issues with the car, track consistency issues, and scheduling issues. So many issues related to that of some sort. And some sort of kind of afraid NASCAR is kind of really close into that. They have the consistency schedule cars and everything of some sort. The problem is, though, is the cars gonna get more built and more stockier of some sort, moving away from the old grassroots models, like late models of some sort. You're going to instead of going to cars that are more like the similar type built as built-in toy cars, grand touring cars type build, and hybrid to stock car. Yeah, I think that means the cars are no longer be built with their short tracks. And they can build. But yeah, no, I know there's gonna be adjustments to get built as a road course friendly car because it's so they use different chassis, otherwise they get allowed to build with and road courses because although they are built really well for road courses in the try so I think there might be a focus on that with a new version of the car in the future. And they end up split cars up for mostly for the ones that built for the oval, and they'll be oval built, and the rest can be road course built, and then built for the road course type of vehicle. So that's kind of also somebody who might be looking at as well. So not be surprised for that. So what I'm gonna say right now is which direction the next question they're taking in with their full stories might be in the future. And obviously because international racing some sort, they need a capable to produce road course made cars. So there's some sort. You see, because of that, that course is kind of killing the short tracks and just getting to the lower legs. Some sort. So you're kind of afraid that the NASCAR might get rid of ARCA and absorb it to the part of the fourth Grand Touring Series to keep the short tracks and keep within the US because they do not keep on the racing international yet, so they had to some sort. Because they need to be younger in the age of 18 or 17 years of age, if not more than 16, where it is, it's a probability they might stick to the areas of non-restricted and type ovals and also to be lower level speedways. Consider it to be feel more safe for them when they get it used for not only for the endurance in the long run, so also relate towards excuse me, so relate towards some experience for the future to come. In the case of for the bumping up levels like trucks expedient in the long term future. So that's kind of what might be looking at. So I hope NASCAR agrees with this. And there's some sort. Even does they have tracks like like Elko, Five Flags, National Fairgrounds, Winchester, and others might come back to the scheduling city for Berlin Raceway and others too. We return there. So you know what I'm talking about, right? So yeah, those type of tracks. So it's kind of part in the NASCAR's grassroots, and they do not want to get rid of that. So later, it's kind of so that we need what you should look at here. So this is why I kind of feel that NASCAR Cup Series might get rid of like tracks like Bristol, Martinsville, Darlington, North Wilkesboro, and others from the Cup Series and just put it down to lower leagues because they're kind of afraid the Cup car's future regulated and to be no longer sustained very well for those tracks that kind of built more specifically for late models and otherwise. So, because I know the stock cars are going to lose its look like late models instead of almost like touring cars. And with grand touring cars, are going to end up on touring cars itself. Yeah, if we look at cars that are from baseball, like GT at LM or GTD, those Grand Touring Lamar and Grand Touring Daytona type cars for the IMSA, even the World Endurance Championships, those type of cars. So yeah, those cars are closely related to those cars in some sort. The way that's they can still do the race on smaller tracks. It's almost like similar. Bristol was almost like the size of that compared to tracks like Pikes Peak, Iowa. It's some sort like that. Even Kentucky, of some sort. Yeah, so you name it, even Dover. Although Dover's because that could be a state, since even Homestead. So good to have good races there. So yeah, even shorter to Texas, Atlanta, or otherwise might be state too. Also, other examples of it as well as well as Nashville or others and some sort. You know what I'm looking at? Good. So that's those might be the tracks that most can fit the Cup Series in these days. So yeah, so it kind of sucks. You know, yeah, they might be planning to bring down like tracks like North Wilkesboro, Bristol, Martinsville, Darlington, and Bowman Gray, and others to the lower leagues because it's gonna fit them very well with the cars that they have already, and even versus those stock hard type cars because it kind of fit the new generation cars will not even built for tracks so like, for short tracks anymore. So which means they're literally because NASCAR's kind of plan to get rid of it in the future so that they room for tracks like Rockingham's return to Cup Series or even with Pikes Peak at the end of might take over tracks of schedule from tracks like Richmond or Darlington and some sort take over. Even worse, they might plan to get rid of the so they either two Bristol races, two Martinsville races, two Darlington races, and as well. One also is a North Wilkesboro will also be removed. One Richmond race will also probably be removed as well because all those tracks that they said already are way too small for the NASCAR because it comes to the way to think they in the race anymore of some sort. Also, it's the kind of thing right now. It's the real kind of direction what we're looking at right now. So this is what we're looking at. And the only way the tracks are going to keep under the schedule in the church with a D-shaped oval or they can or the renovate to the end of it's like Atlantize the track these days so that they can possibly more faster. They can Atlantize, they can change the track to almost like a D-shaped oval or if not a tri-oval type sort of similar as that or they can or they can change the change into the end of seeing similar things as Pikes Peak in Iowa. They can do that too. So that's technically that's what's going to these days. So the problem is I know Bristol cannot do that. This is because the steam stands go all around the track. Martinsville's kind of the same way because it's like a sheet of paper clip. I think you can do this in Dover because I had if we tear down that if we tear down the if not the hospital then with the bridge and then replace the LS section of track of some sort. They can see for Homestead. It the tear down just tear down the front strand, the front side stands, and the end of it even laserlines the leg almost like that. So some sort. So they can do that. So to give an example to compare to the Nookhead is like a small version like compared to Rockingham. Rockham's kind of good. It's good for him about the renovations on this track. So they compare to the same look as like, so even trying to, yeah, keep us like itself. So for like Rock has like a mini South Moto Beach Speedway but larger with high bank. So you think it's build tracks like this? Some sort. It kind of be tracks like this, so they might come into question about if they see me abandoned. So that's going to focus in with tracks like this, since in the end of them also abandoned, like most boroughs, and they're ready to do it too. Yeah, one track is a might only think is they end up like this, similar like this of some sort. It has probably it's gonna tear down into a school in the future. It had no effort to save that track that is going on. Yes, I'm talking about the famous Nazareth Speedway. Nazareth Speedway has a track that can fit all kilometers of the new next gen car can do. Nazareth Speedway can fit all check marks they need to fit for the NASCAR made track if they do for renovations of some sort or the end of some sort. Technically, Nazareth Speedway can be perfect to be able to replace North Wilkesboro. The problem is is that's what every Pennsylvania state government and then that's what city to work together to tear down Nazareth Speedway and replace with possibly an elementary school in the future. So that track is probably no longer be savable for sure. But if we get really hectic, if this that's going to end up get more pressure to get tracks like this happen. Desert Speedway it's possible they might go for like a notice a restoration plan with the by the Pennsylvania state government and some sort. So yeah, it's like a Pennsylvania state restoration plan and restore Desert Speedway back to NASCAR's glory. It might be planned in the future as well to the end of fit NASCAR's ways as planned. Some sort is kind of restored back to life in some sort. Since notice that's what's more viable. So kind of makes sense to them when I'm looking at it already. Since it makes sense, so otherwise I'm looking at here. Although that track has been banned since '04, but it's like if Rock can't keep back on the schedule, or Wilkesboro did or otherwise, why not Nazareth? So it's just an easily big accomplishment there. Although they takes a statewide effort to probably end up revive there, but yeah, but if it this restructuring plan that might help in the end of some sort. And now it's just new generations kind of shifting away from the short track routes. So I might see National Speedways I think can come back in the future to the end of since the end of where it is, so despite what direction it's going. It's some sort because it's how it's been built. So that's is possible at this point. So it's for sure. Otherwise, for the positive for sure. So that's gonna be it for the update for the for what's going on NASCAR and otherwise it changes otherwise for what's going on right now in my videos. For the final 1 minute, 2 minutes for sure to get the same one though. Yeah, using my phone instead of computer. My computer's going through like some loading issues. It's like slow down. Possibly add a support page with Windows 10 coming in. So yeah, I might. So I think the next 2-3 years from now, I might change my computer. So the way it can will be staying with me. It's just only needs to change as a computer box, and that might be it. So trying to because it's like my computer box already is over 10 years old by now, so it's still alive and kicking. But the problem's not do not know much how much longer. So I let you know. So hope you like this stream. Otherwise, they have to cut down at least 30 minutes so they get it will be short up with some sort of loud the same typing so where it is for upload so it let you know so hope you like it. Otherwise, so see you in the next video or next stream or otherwise. I'm Joshua Carehaven and I finally am out of here. Well, otherwise I can say well, so long for now and have a great day and happy Easter everyone and otherwise well see you guys next time and I'm Joshua Carehaven and I gotta say is beep beep beep. Oh yeah, PS it's for you guys for the big NASCAR back. Hope you like it. Otherwise, good luck then. And otherwise, gonna say one now. Give me a say it and goodbye.